Awesome. Yeah, so all of you, I just want to say a special welcome to all of you from Decentrafun community. And yeah, there will be a POAP giveaway later on, and you have to stay tuned for the details, and there'll be a special little POAP word and a Google form, and the first 50 will get it. POAP is going through some changes lately, so yeah, I was able to get 50, which is really cool. So anyway, let's head. My name is Fractilians, Natalie, aka Fractilians, and I'm going to be your reporter for the day. For those of you who are new, there's reporters every single day of the week. Oh, somebody can't hear me? Oh, too loud? Hold on a second. I can adjust that if it's a little bit loud. Is that better? I hope it's a little bit better. Let me, yeah, sometimes you have to adjust things a little bit with the mic. A little too low now. I think everybody needs to play with their adjustments. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Heaven on Earth? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Natalie, aka Fractilians. And again, I'm going to be a reporter for today. So if you're here to learn about communities, creators, and builders in Decentraland, that is my passion, and that's what I cover. I feature all the different builders and communities that are doing really cool stuff in Decentraland and other metaverses. So I'm really passionate, especially about the creativity that drives people in this space. So my focus is around that. And of course, I love NFTs, wearables, quests, and all sorts of things that happen in the metaverse. So for today's show, let's head over to, I'm over in the Decentraland Reporter headquarters right now. And let me add the link in the chat. So if all of you guys are, have your Decentraland open, you can join me for the next little bit where I'm going to give an overview of what the show today is about. So let me share that with you guys and let me head over there. So yeah, here I am. For those of you guys who don't know, this is the awesome Decentraland Reporter headquarters. As you can see, maybe some of you guys have been here, maybe not, but if you're here, come join me, and I'm just going to give you guys a little overview of today's show while I'm hanging out in this awesome spot. So for today, I'm going to be showcasing the amazing community from build called Decentrafun Complex. And this week, I'm featuring 3 very special guests from there. Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust this. I just put on my one of my Decentrafun wearables, which is really cool. Hey, Decentrafun! Hey, in the house! How so stoked you're here. I hope a ton of people from the community can join us. So again, back to our show for today. So I have an awesome interview with Decentrafun Hydra, founder of Decentrafun, and Deep Thought, who is the awesome events coordinator, and he does a bunch of really cool music events in the Decentrafun complex, and also Mitra, the artist and creator and amazing tarot reading queen, I call her. And I also welcome all the Shiva Army that's here, all the developers, the Polygon community, everybody from Decentrafun. So stoked to have you here. So before we dive in, and I kind of go over this in the interview a little bit, but I just want to give a little special shout out to Decentrafun, because it's basically like the first place that kind of like Hydra, who again is the founder, was the first person who really opened his arms and helped me and in this crypto rabbit hole metaverse. So yeah, I'm also personally involved in there. I help curate a floor and help with some marketing stuff, and it's just a fun, amazing place. So all of you who have never heard of this, I'll be sharing their Discord links. You can head over there and find out more info about them. So I know a lot of you guys are here also. Luckily, right at the end, I was able to get 50 POAPs, so I do have a special POAP giveaway today. And here, let me just show you the POAP of the day. Give me 1 second, and there it is. That is going to be the POAP for today. And yeah, yeah, again, there's changes in POAP, so I was only able to get 50. I had wanted to get a little more because I know there's a huge community in Decentrafun that's super supportive of all things Decentrafun, and I wanted to give them to everybody. But yeah, I'll have a little Google form and a little special thing you have to listen for to enter into the little POAP giveaway. Okay, so yeah, that'll be shared a little bit later. And yeah, so let's, I think it's time to dive into our awesome interview. And yeah, and part of the requirement for the POAP, just all of you who are listening now, is I would love for you guys to follow me here on Twitch. And I'll also share in the comments. Again, we're part of a bigger community. It would be great to support all the other reporters. They're amazing. They all cover different things. But yeah, please follow me here and also leave a comment because I'm going to be looking for your comments. It's great to hear your feedback and thoughts throughout here. So let's head over to, give me 1 second, and I will get this set up for you guys. You see, sometimes it takes a little bit. I think this is, nope, that's not it. You get everything set up, but it never quite works exactly how you hope it to work. Okay, here, let me get this. That one's not it. Hold on 1 second. Let me just add it real quick. It'll take 1 second, and I will start our wonderful interview of the day for you guys. For some reason it's not showing up on here, but hold on. I had it on here. Yeah, this happens. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Sometimes it doesn't show up. It takes a minute. So let me adjust it a little bit. It's always fun to get to know Twitch Studio here. And let me make sure I'm still in the picture. There I am. Okay, so this interview is a little bit long, but it's really cool, and I've broken it up into 3 parts for you guys. Part 1 is we start with our awesome Decentrafun founder, Hydra. So yeah, and if you guys could please let me know all the audio is good. When I hit play, I might have to do a little bit of adjustments since it's all different from different times. That would be wonderful. Okay. Welcome everybody. Today my guest is, I have different builders and different community members from the Decentrafun complex. And here with me right now is Decentrafun Hydra, and he's going to be telling us about this build. And yeah, later on we'll also go to the rooftop and hang out with Deep Thought, and also hang with Mitra. And Deep is going to talk about his events, and Mitra is going to show all her amazing mermaid project art on her floor. So yeah, but before we go there, I would love to have you give us an overview of how you got started in the space and what your vision is for this complex.
Yes. So, how the funny story about how I got started in this space is, it was back in February when I was just learning about mana, and I was buying some coins like on the regular market, like on Coinbase, and then I found one and I was like, oh, that's why is it, what is particular about this point? Because I was reading about all the coins, and then mana, it stood up because of the name, because I'm a gamer, and back when I was playing Diablo, I heard about mana, so I was like, let me check it out. And so I came to Decentraland and I started to see that you could build here, and so that's the thing that like got me. But then I realized that you actually need to purchase to build, and so I started with a small investment. I think it was like $8,000 of like land, and I purchased the first land all the way up north. I didn't know anything, so I was like super newbie. So and then I started building, and then I met more people, and then I went to the conferences, and I met you at one of the conferences, I think. And after that, then we started to expand. We decided, we needed something bigger if we wanted to build something bigger. And so, I bought the 3 lands that is behind me. We have a 2 land, and then finally a 1 land parcel which we are developing as we speak. The 1x1 parcel is destined to be a education building, and then the 1x2 a gaming area, and then finally this 1x3 to be a museum and finance building. So I think it's working fine. I think we're doing a good progress. We have other ideas now that we have expanded. I feel like the way that we're going, we're gonna be finding even more stuff that we're gonna do, because we get just more complex as time goes on. That it's just crazy, and I love it. I love all the ideas that we're doing. I love the games that we're gonna tackle, the events that we're holding, and how we're doing to improve them too. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great being like, when I met you at that conference, you were the helpful, you've helped so many people. I'm not the only one, but I couldn't have audio work, and you helped me because you were streaming it, which was
Oh
so
yeah,
cool. Remember? I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. I
help!
was
I
streaming.
can't hear anything, and you're like, I'm streaming. Come here, and then from there, I mean, for me, it's been amazing to watch the community that you've built up around you. I was there in the beginning, and Deep and Mitra, and then like all the other amazing people you've brought on. They're just like, and it's cool because I've brought on some people, and I'm like, I tell them everybody I meet about it, and it's so fun because this is such a, to me, it really represents a lot of what my show is about: community build. Like this is really a community build, right? Like you have
Mhm.
so many people. You really encourage people taking ownership, kind of creating their own like events, and us curating floors and stuff like that has been so much fun to do. So yeah, and also the gaming, your plans are for the other parcels, I think I can't wait for all of that. And then you have the 3D developers, all people that you've brought on, and it's just really cool to see in the
Yeah,
Discord
it's
and all of
crazy.
that.
It's crazy because you mentioned about the site. I didn't think about it. Like it just hit me now that you're talking about it, because in reality, like it all started with just me randomly just you know going around ECL, and then we got from uh, this person. I remember his name right now, anyway. But then we met, you and I. Then we met with then we met with Mitra. Then we met with the other artists. And we continued to push forward. We met even more people,
Hmm.
and now we have like a group. Like said, you know what? I didn't think about it until now, but right now we have like a nice core group, I would say.
Yeah, and it's just like, and everybody has, what I love in particular is how different we all are, and how we all have different things that we're trying to bring to the table. And I think and the thing is that this is a group that like, it's fun because we're, again, that difference, but also we're all action takers. We love to just try, trial by fire, and also we just like, let's do it. It's
Yeah,
not like we sit around and think about it. Like, okay, let's do it, happens, and we learn from it, and
yeah.
just I actually have a bunch of footage I'm going to include, in this interview to show everybody our old building, right? Because I have footage of that, which is cool, so people can see how this building itself has evolved in just not that long, really.
Oh, you have footage from the previous one?
Oh, oh yeah, like the ones what we used to do, all the interviews with artists on
Oh my
our.
god, that's
It,
crazy.
and it's cool to
Yeah,
show. Do you want to give us a walkthrough? Maybe we'll start in the DeFi building first. Tell
yeah.
us your plans for that, and love that jacket. It's so cool. You look like the super cool character in some like crazy, futuristic weird game.
Thank you. Yeah, it's from this one's actually from Federated Reserve, and the Shiba Inu is ours. Yeah, because we are, again, community. We are partnering with Federated Reserve, so they do have wearables. The Shiba Inu is, from
I
Decentrafun,
guess it all
but
started
the
when I was a
jacket, the
kid.
pants, and
I
the
dreamt
shoes are
of
from
creating
Federated
virtual
Reserve,
realities of
and
my
we're
own,
working with them
bringing
to
digital
try and
entertainment and
put
ability
up
to
some
bring my brain
events.
to life.
So they're
Yeah,
really.
what's going on in this floor?
This floor is dedicated to sheep. Actually, it's been taking quite a long time to finalize this building, just because we've been dedicated to do a lot of other stuff. So including like optimizing the building itself, that we haven't been able to reformat what we have in here. But basically, all these NFTs are just kind of like giving exposure to the artists who are working on everything like Doge or Shiba. You know, so as of right now, we're looking into partnering with Shiba. I mean, we have an already established relationship with Shiba. We're just trying to make an event, and here's where we're gonna be hosting like a lot of the stuff. But we need some programming So that's the reason why we just haven't finished it yet. You can see art. It's gonna be more than just art here. We just have that in development as of right now.
Cool. So can you give us, like, for most people in the community know, but in case, I've been having more and more newbies, new
Mm-hmm.
into like the metaverse in general, can you tell us about the coin itself? Like, why this
Yeah.
particular coin?
Well, the reason why I like in particular chip token is
Or
because
token, sorry.
the yeah, no worries. Yeah, the leader himself he's pretty good. His name is Shaitoshi Kusama, and Shaitoshi Kusama is very very like powerful. I would say like his way of like expressing himself and talking to the community, it's pretty good. So I could have put thousands of dollars into other tokens, but I feel like he gave me the vibe of someone that really wanted to push the boundaries of like crypto, and
Nice.
specifically because he launched not only Shiba or Sheep token, but he also launched Leash and Bone, and they're preparing to launch also a game, and also they're planning to launch a Shibarium, which is a new type of blockchain, and then Doggy DAO, which is like basically a new type of DAO based on the Bone token. So they have like a good ecosystem, I would say. Like they're talking, they have implemented deflationary token like the Leash on a limited supply, kind of like Bitcoin, but even more limited. And then you have Shiba or Sheep, which is just like like mainstream token where they had like 1 quadrillion. And I think now they're down to less than 400 trillion tokens. And then finally we have Bone, which is another deflationary token, but it's the purpose is going to be for the DAO. And then finally She, which is not developed yet, but she will be pegged to the dollar, so it will always be one, right? And
So
so
what does
go ahead.
deflationary actually mean? What does deflationary mean when you say a token is, deflationary? What does that mean?
It basically means that it combats inflation, because what it will do is that it will gather more value, right? Because of let's say you have like $20 right now, right? So you put that into that token, and now that token holds that $20 value, but the value of your own dollar, depending on the amount of supply that happens. Like let's say if we're talking about the U.S. and they keep on printing money, then instead of like a Coke costing $1, it will cost $2, because people know that due to inflation that Coke is going to cost more, because the value itself of it is kind of like imaginary. I mean, that's how kind of like I like to think about economics. Kind of like it's kind of like imaginary, where we're putting value into stuff. So people know for a fact that that Coke doesn't cost $1 anymore. It costs now $2, even because the demand of supply of the USD. So because of that, because there's a limited amount of tokens, uh, you can purchase more and more and more and more of this token. This token goes up in value, and that's the reason why it's kind of they call it deflationary token, because it kind of just goes up in price. So instead of losing, like for example, if we talk about what Elon Musk is doing and like other corporations are doing, they're buying into Bitcoin, and the reason why they buy Bitcoin is because they earn a higher interest than any other place right now, right? Because if you leave your tokens, and they've been saying about this, it's like if you leave your money into a savings account, or into a checking account, whatever they have stored their money. As of right now, they were complaining. For example, Tesla was complaining that in Europe, instead of earning interest, they're down by -2, even with the incentives that they're receiving. So it's like
Wow.
you put your money in the bank and it's losing money, it's losing value by negative by 2% every year. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
more
make any.
than
Why would you put that in the bank? Because they're printing money, right? So it
yeah.
devalues the stuff, and so that's the reason why they are purchasing this tokens, because they're specifically Bitcoin, because it's deflationary. There's only like I think 40 million only Bitcoin, and so the same thing is with Leash, but except that
Like,
Leash is even less than 40. I think it's like
oh, okay.
40,000 tokens only of Leash or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So
No, that's
yeah, it's
fascinating. I
pretty.
mean, it's really. So tell us. So what's the plan up, like in the? Want to go up the elevator and show us a little bit more
Yeah,
of this section? Okay.
yeah. So if we go into the elevator, so we go here to the second floor, which is right here.
I know we have to jump off. The
You
elevators is
made it.
always fun. I
I
know. I
know.
was like, I'm so used to the elevators. I mean,
Yeah.
so what is it? What's gonna be
So
here?
So basically, here we're gonna be putting everything about Bao. which is another token. We were supposed to actually work with Bao for quite the longest time ever. It's just, due to like all the the projects that we're doing, the events that we're hosting, and stuff that we're doing, it hasn't been done yet because we're also waiting for the newest new like building, and then once we have the newest building, then we are finally going to have stuff in here, and that includes programming. But this is right now for Bao, and they're actually pretty cool people. They have their own token, kind of like Sheep. It's the Bao token, and they just recently released something called Poly DeFi, which basically they have some sort of synthetics, but which I really don't really know what these synthetics are. I haven't into that. I just hold a bunch of Bao. So yeah, I'm carrying Bao bags right now. So we'll see.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Cool. So we have to fall through to go to the next level, right?
Yeah. We can actually pass them because it's just like Bao. We haven't really finished the other ones. So this one's for Matic, right? As you can see. And then we have staking. And then finally we have like empty floors that we're also planning to fill with more people, obviously, as we progress. Matic, we are actually very tight with Matic. And finally, the roundtable, which is just like where we're going to have our VIP section, talks with all the people that are working in the project. We have some really cool ideas for that, top secret for now. But for that roundtable, it's going to be more than a roundtable. As soon as they up the amount of triangles that we can use, we're planning to do something super, super special for those that work with us and for those that hold VIP passes or are doing to do rental, But yeah, other than that, we're here on the roof, and this is supposed to be the place where DJs and people can do their music and stuff. This section is going to be probably just purely VIP, where if you hold a specific token, you can get in here. But like I said, we just need more development, and then we should be good to go.
Yeah. So then usually we head up here. Want to jump over to the other side from here, or what do you want to do? I think that'll be fun. That's usually what I do to get to the roof. The roof is like the coolest spot. I love it up here.
Yeah, me too. And so now, we were in the financial center, so now we're in the museum. And so here in the museum, we have, a bunch of artwork from like different artists, and we have a section dedicated to the Cybertruck collection, which is currently on Ethereum. So, there's going to be more work done being now on Polygon now that we're kind of partnering with Polygon.
I just switched to night mode it just looks so cool in night mode. And now your jacket glows even better. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to switch it because it looks so cool. And the clouds are beautiful.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry.
I like that one too. No, you're good, you're good. And so I don't know. I mean, I've been working on the collection for the Cybertruck, but we're probably gonna switch it to something a little bit cooler. And I'm thinking of implementing better ideas now for the building. So, but it all now rests upon the developers, which we recently got on board. So we're looking to program now the building and allow for more functionality that we were planning to do, and to give support, because the reason for the museum, aside from doing a lot of events, is to provide support for the artists. But we are waiting on that Polygon support here, NFTs, because everybody has that issue. It's not just us. Everybody on Decentraland currently cannot post frames, NFT frames in the Polygon. They can only do what is kind of like a special link that will bring them over to the Polygon site or wherever, OpenSea or anywhere. So we're trying to do a solution towards that. And here on this roof, here you can see all of our social media. Like we have the Instagram, the Discord, the Twitter, and the YouTube. And we have here one of our POAPs, actually one of our arts for D&D. And then finally we have screen.
Yeah, this is where we met up here, and after this section, I'll head over to that so you can showcase. I recorded some of Deep's event too, so you guys in the community can all see like what happens up here when there's a party. And then also I recorded some of Mitra's tarot readings, which were amazing. I can't wait for those to start up again. Those are really cool. And yeah, the POAP is awesome. I have this little POAP. So when is the D&D night? Like, is that still like a weekly thing, or what's happening with that?
Yeah, so as of right now it's just basically learning. That's what we're doing with D&D, because it's a little bit complex to try and incorporate D&D into the realm per se, just because of the nature of how D&D is. So, as of right now, it's more like, we just host an event where people can learn about D&D, and that they can hop over Discord. If they want to play D&D, they can contact Cubed, which is one of our D&D masters, and we're getting another D&D master to provide support. So that's going to be pretty amazing, I think, because D&D is a lot about imagination and, running wild and just checking these lands that exist within our mind, and I actually love it. So I think having another D&D master will be great, and we are looking forward to welcoming him on board, and seeing if there's a better way of actually conducting D&D nights here on the roof, maybe, or if we can change scenery whenever it's a D&D day. So we're on the works with that, right? It's all about planning and checking what works and what not. We always can get the feedback from the people that come here to the events, which is very nice. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, everything you just talked about. I mean, it's funny, until you like actually try to do an event or do things within the space, you don't realize how much work it takes. Just even the one I created, just to gather all the artists, all the info, then to have the developers put up all the art and all the links. That everything takes time, and
Yeah.
a lot of time. And so,
Yeah.
like, I think it's important because everyone, by doing that, you really appreciate all the builds that everybody in the in all of Decentraland is doing, and all the metaverses actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that we can go. I mean, to go to it'd be cool to showcase a little bit of, you were talking about the Cybertruck. Want to head down to that real quick, or do we have to? We're gonna fly down.
We're gonna have to wait for the elevator to come.
Oh, is that it right there? Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Oh, really?
But it's
all the
not
way down.
Oh, mine is not moving.
Oh, really?
Here.
Yeah, that's the problem with the SDK from
Oh, there it is.
Decentraland.
Okay. I'm in. Oh no, I missed that floor. So the SDK has some issues with elevators, or just certain things.
Yeah, we're not sure what it is, but it's not it's not our problem. Let's put it this way: like, it's not our fault that it's this way, because we're using the builder, and the builder just has this glitch for some reason, where anything that moves up and down just doesn't really
like
work
it
for some reason.
Which floor are you at? I'm going on the elevator now.
Oh, you are? I'm in the Cybertruck.
Okay, cool. I almost made it there, but then it decided to go back down. Okay, I'm gonna try to find you. I'm hoping. Let's go up one more. So that's half the fun. Trying to find your friends in this space. I'm gonna start bringing. I have a lot of friends that how Pentagram. I met him through Meta's friends, and I have other friends through Meta guys that I've met who haven't spent any time in Decentraland. So I'm hoping to do like a tour thing. So I bring them to places like this, and show them some of the fun quests, just to get them used to walking around in spaces.
Work in progress. I feel like even for Decentraland, I feel like Decentraland is, they're ambitious, because I know they're trying to put, for example, clouds and mist. That's what they're trying to try to allow to bring here into the space.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I can't wait for them to do that. It's gonna be a little bit of a work, and especially I'm looking, like I said, to more triangles, because then we can make this structure much better.
So for people who don't know what the issue with triangles are, could you explain it? Like, what is the issue with triangles? What do you need for more triangles?
Yeah, so basically right now, Decentraland is made you can enter the realm within a browser. And this has its limitations, obviously, because there's so much that you can run on a browser. And so they're developing a client. And what they mean by client is like an executable program, basically. Like, for example, if you ever played a game, you run this executable program, and then you can play the game in your PC, right? So that's exactly what they want to do, by executable, basically like a client. And then with that, it's a good thing, because then they can increase the triangles. And what are triangles is basically like what form the 3D buildings, right? Like
Oh
to
no!
make one.
Look, I jumped
What?
through the roof. How did I
Oh
jumped through
yeah,
the
yeah, I just
roof?
saw you.
I
Yeah, I
did.
just
I
saw
didn't
you.
even know I could do that. That's so
Yeah.
funny. Okay, that was a
So
first for me. No, but at least I can still hear you. So you can keep going. I was trying to
yeah, yeah,
showcase
no worries.
how cool it is you can go on the Cybertruck. Yeah, so
Yeah,
then
yes.
when it does that, a lot of the processing power will be on your computer side, your instead of
Yeah,
the browser demand, right? Is that the
yeah,
main
yeah.
change or no? Am I understanding it not correctly?
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, because it takes a lot of RAM to run it on your browser, and that's the reason why a lot of people are having issues with it to run it because some computers just can't handle that. And
Yeah.
so
Oh,
we have Deep Thoughts, whose artwork is also here, and again, we need to update the floors as we speak because we're gonna be putting out everything on Mac. So a lot of the artwork here is on Ethereum, and
yeah,
that's not good.
yeah, yeah.
Ethereum are like so high, so nobody's really like doing like blow ups on with money on Ethereum. A lot of people are switching actually automatic, but and I think they surpassed the amount of traction on Matic like the day before yesterday or something. So that means
Really?
that people,
That's a
yeah,
big deal. Holy
yeah,
moly.
yeah, yeah. Right
Damn.
now, Matic is undervalued like by a lot. Like the token right now is like $1 something or two
I think
dollars. But anyway, so if you come back here to the mural, we have Dita, we have Mitra Klein, who's a very well seasoned artist. We have also Awado on. We have me here with my flowers. I only got 2 flowers on sale. That's the only 2 that I ever made.
yeah, your
We
cool
have
mandalas, right?
yeah, yeah, like my own the mandalas, and then we have here your art work,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jacqueline.
I have some in here too. And then
Yeah,
it also has the same issue because these were minted on Rarible, but it's only
yeah.
OpenSea that you can see them, and it's like you have to actually go to OpenSea to see the higher res version. It would be nice how like some of the places like Cyber and Raribles you can see. Remember how I showed you guys like the really high res,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. It would be
Yeah.
nice like once that, but it's also like probably like to the play rate, the poly, like how much actual
Right.
resolution you're allowed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that I mean, in that's what we're trying to do is we have to remodel all of it. Obviously, like we have to contact the artists, and it takes a lot of work because we have to contact all the artists, and we have to change all the artwork now from Ethereum to Polygon. So that's another thing we're gonna do, and then kind of start getting ready for VR because right now how it currently
Yes.
is spread out. I mean, it's nice, but I feel like we could do much more, specifically start to include VR. So, and we are planning to use a UI. So I have a better idea of how to showcase art with a UI. That way we'll have this thing. Because this thing, while it's pretty and stuff, I feel like you can have a better structure with the artwork. And I've actually had talks about implementing UI where you can actually see art right in front of you if you desire, instead of actually having to read these little charts and the
I
links.
know. Yeah,
So
that would
it's
be
definitely,
cool.
like I said, a work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'll be great because then with VR you can also implement more of 3D models like in CryptoVoxels. Like they have a lot of 3D models that you can, just to have them in the space is really cool. Just kind of like have you have the Cybertruck up above. More of that,
Mhm.
especially in VR, would be really cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gonna come to a time where VR is gonna be like the next big thing, and we just gotta get prepared for that. Especially if we want to do work, because I do want to put the building up for rental for work,
Mm.
which is another concept that I'm just been dragging along since like back in February. So that'll
Oh,
be
I
interesting.
fell. I'm on the
Well,
bottom floor.
okay, I'm with you now.
Okay, there you are. But you come down so much more smoothly. You're like you remind me of almost like those characters in like a vampire movie now, just like flying down. Like I'll come join
Like
you.
slow motion, like just come down, like
Yeah, it
hey.
looks cool. Yeah, I love this
Yeah.
bottom floor too. It reminds me of like a Vegas casino almost.
Yeah, actually, we were looking at Villaggio when I did this part. I was
Oh,
like, can we
cool.
have some sort of like Villaggio look? Oh, do you know by the way Villaggio?
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
No?
Is that one of the, you're talking about the casino or is he a
Yeah,
developer?
yeah, yeah. You do Casino Villaggio?
I've heard of it. I haven't like I can visualize it. I've been to Vegas for a conference for work once,
Yeah.
I
You
know I
must
don't
have
know if
seen it then.
I might have. I don't remember. It was a blur.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in
Well,
Vegas.
it was more like we were there for work, so by the end of like a full day of like a conference, like it's a industry conference, you're just like you have about 1 hour left in you before you have to wake up and be there at 6. So it wasn't like a fun, it wasn't like we got to like, really go party much at all. But it was
Mhm.
so we got to see a couple of places, but they chose to show us some of the seedier places, which was funny, like it just reminded
Mhm.
me of old school like Huntress Thompson style Vegas is what I got to see.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool still though, because you got to experience like the airport itself was an experience for me when I saw casinos on the airport. I was like,
I
what the fuck?
know. I know that's
That's cool.
very so no, this is wonderful. I'm so glad that we were able to meet up and you can give us this wonderful overview.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a space that I'll definitely be, updating everybody because there's always so many cool events that are happening and, the music stuff and all the different, D&D and Mitra's events and all your partners. So it's really one to, and again, you guys, how long ago you got the point of interest? That was a really cool thing that just happened, right?
Oh yeah, that was recently. That was like say 2, 3 weeks ago, maybe
Yeah,
around
so
there.
that's a huge kudos to everybody that supported this, and yeah, it's just great for people to get to know this community. So then when they see if they participate in in those kind of voting, it's important to help each other and
Yeah, yeah, and we're artists, to like place them on floors and do like events also for artists. It's we're at a point where doing at least back in the day, like about maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, we could do everything manually because it was just a little bit easier with the amount of artists. But now with the amount of artists that we have and the potential to grow, we need a little bit more help from automated tools. And so,
Yes.
we're gonna take advantage of that now that we have the developers and see if what I wanted to do back ever can be done now. That'll be great because
Yeah.
then basically everybody will have access to curation. So yeah.
Yeah, well, this is very like it's almost like a metaverse, like Decentraland incubator of possibilities. So this space is one that I recommend everyone have on their radar. Check on the events. There's always cool, on the Genesis Plaza event board. I've been seeing more and more of the events on that, which is really cool. And yeah, there's a lot going on.
I'm Mitra. I found Decentrafun by um, following Hydra on YouTube while he was going through the first stages of building on his 1x1, and then ended up joining the community in Discord. And now we have multiple locations, all this stuff going on in Mars, and I've got an installation with 78 NFTs for the Mermaid Type Turtle on Gallery 4, which will be up for a little bit longer, and then we're going to be switching it out with celestial imagery, which is like night sky photography and other images inspired by space.
Wonderful. And Deep, I don't know if you have if you're able to talk for a second or just listen for the moment.
Oh, hi. My name's Deep Thought. I'm an artist from the UK. I have a real job in real life, so this is more of a hobby. But I met Hydra and Mitra and Fractilians in the community here a while back, and I've seen the growth and the community come together in terms of not just the building and the architecture and the trials and tribulations and the joy and the tears and the fun of it all, but just seeing the ideology and the thought process, which everyone has combined together in terms of a roadmap and personal and collective vision around the evolution of what we're all sort of labeling the metaverse within brackets, but that's a web 3.0 type of futurescape where everything gets skinned in a much more immersive experience. And so I'm lucky enough to be able to work with the team here and help curate the floor and make the coffee, etc. So it's been a fun experience, really.
Oh, great. And afterwards, right now we'll just do quick introductions, and then if we Mitra, if we can walk through this floor, you can tell us more about your project. And Deep, I know you're working on a bunch of really cool events. If you could go over that in a little bit later as well, that'd be wonderful. But yeah, because this, I have time to go into more depth, and I would love to hear more details of each floor and your plans as well. Been a part of this project, I think, since I first even got into anything crypto, and even the wearables. Can you tell me a little bit about the wearables you have on? That also is your creation here, your project.
Yes. So the funniest thing is, like, I love anime. I love a lot of stuff. I love anime, and I like kawaii stuff, like kind of cute stuff, different colors. And this outfit, the one that Mitra and I are wearing, is actually in resemblance to anime, but also the colors actually came from Mitra. So Mitra actually, um, you know, made that color selection because mine were a little bit too flashy and too.
Those are cool. I didn't know that, Mitra. That's awesome.
Yeah, she
I
got
made
that
some
down pretty good.
suggestions. Yeah.
So who was
So
I mean, that's another thing, you've worked with all the developers of the wearable itself too. That was an interesting journey, right?
yeah, oh my gosh, it's been very interesting, the whole wearable aspect. I mean, we have this one, we have the spacesuit, which has not been deployed. And we have the Shiba Inu head, which is in collaboration with the Shiba Inu people. We're gonna do an event for that too. So it's been kind of cool. I mean, I'm just hoping that we can receive funds so that we can start promoting artists to pursue their fees a little bit high for some people. So it will be nice to allow people to just go ahead and do the wearable that they like, and they're funded by us, or any other type of art. So that's something that I'm looking to do with the museum, with regards to that. So it'll
Yeah,
be
that whole
pretty
like
cool.
yeah, the idea of like everything that we're doing here kind of like eventually hopefully will bring in funds so then we can do more things. That whole process, like you were saying, like people, if they actually want to create a wearable, it's like a 500 mana fee, or what is the fee?
Yeah, so basically per apparel, it's a 500 mana fee. So the feet are 500 mana. Lower body part is 500 mana. The torso is 500 mana.
Are you really? Oh, I
Yes,
didn't know that. That
yes.
whole thing.
So yeah,
That's expensive. That's really
I
expensive.
yeah, because especially I bought the mana when it was like 1.40, I think, or 1.50. So it's more than $2,000. It was like,
Oh my God. I thought it was just 500 for the whole thing, but even 500 mana for the whole thing's a lot. I didn't realize, like, yeah, that hopefully will be something that can change over time. I mean, are they trying to do that just to like try to keep the quality up, or like what is their reasoning behind it?
well, to be honest, I I mean, I love Decentraland and I love what they're doing, but sorry about that, by the way. I love Decentraland, I know what they're doing, but but it's just like I would prefer if they had an open market, because right now, well, yes, you have to pay a high fee for your wearables to be shown. It kind of, I feel like it lowers the creativity that could be
Mm,
involved.
yeah.
Because there's other games, like for example, like a really good marketplace was Second Life. That's like a perfect example of a community creating wearables, and they have a really good moderator system, and it's an open market. You don't have to pay a fee to put your stuff in there. So
Hmm.
you know, I feel like by putting a fee, it limits the creativity, and I feel like it's just kind of like a hell, because I spent over what I spent over. Let me see, it's probably more than 6,000, maybe like seven
Oh
thousand
my
or eight
God.
thousand dollars
That's
on wearables at a high price, because that's the price that I purchased mana. And so the worst part is that mana right now, you could, I mean, yeah, it's cheap to pay 500 mana right now because it's like 0.80 cents. But if it goes up and you still have that same rate of 500 mana, now you're looking at, let's say, if it goes by dollars, $1,000 per item, and you're not
yeah.
guaranteed that you will sell. So it's
Yeah. And if it doesn't get approved, they keep the funds, right?
I think if it doesn't get, luckily I've never been rejected, but I think if you get rejected, you do get your mana back.
Oh, wow. But I totally had no idea of that part, because I know a lot of people are in Decentraland love everything to do with wearables, but I think it's really interesting to hear the side of, you guys actually developing one and the challenges around that. And I had no idea of that. I totally had a different picture, but I know the process, and even the process of getting things to actually properly work within the game is difficult too. Like I've been watching like Hiroko Kai tutorials on how to make your own wearable, and it's not easy. I mean, you can start making it, but then to actually have it function is a whole nother beast.
It's complex, and the thing is now that something that I've seen in the market too is that we're starting to see more complex wearables. So this also puts a pressure on the artist, because now you have to like try and overcome that they have like really high detail. Like for example, on the background, I'm working with another company that they're trying to put out their wearable lineup, right? And so we show them like a quick draft of what it would look like, but then they're starting to look already at the marketplace, and they're seeing this like wonderful, like super detailed wearables where there's, I think that they mentioned an eagle one, and I was like, well, geez, I mean, that's it's a lot of work. Like that's not easy work, right? Like that's a lot of work, and they probably had more than 2 people working on that, because the amount of detail is amazing. So maybe I would say maybe at least 2 people, one for doing the detailing, like the 2D mapping, and then the other one maybe for doing the 3D aspect. If it's one person, then congratulations, because that looks very amazing. But now we're seeing a competition on that. And this not only translates to wearables, this also translates to scenery, to making stuff for the scene. So it's becoming harder.
Definitely. Yeah, the builds are becoming more and more elaborate and really interesting. So Mitra, do you want to give us a little tour of your floor and talk about your project? I'd love to have everybody learn more. And your event that you were doing, and that you said you're going to hopefully start doing it again sometime later as well, your tarot reading.
I think I'm gonna continue to do streams, doing tarot readings for people on Twitch, and maybe my avatar will hang out in the virtual space during that time, so I can like show that on the screen. But I think as opposed to actually streaming in DCL, so it'd be kind of like a different version of the event. I think that will help expose DCL to more people, and hopefully get more people involved in the community and checking out the building. So yeah, I know it's nice to do events in DCL as well. So I think I might go back and forth, because I know that you guys have some really cool events planned to do in DCL. So I thought maybe I'll do like a month on, a month off, or something like that. Switch back and forth.
So everybody can still find you on Twitch doing your tarot readings. What is your channel again? I mean, I'll post the link in the chat when I'm live as well.
Yeah, it's Mitra_foreverbird. And I have a competition going on. I'm giving away my original Odyssey Oracle cards. So that's going on during this month. And I can give you that link as well. I always give away something every month. Last month I gave away a pendant. And I like to give away things that are kind of related to, personal items, or things related to that have like significance because of their meaning to you, so they have personal significance. Like people wear jewelry for certain reasons, and collecting tarot cards or collecting artwork is kind of alignment with that as well. So
definitely.
Okay.
And so the mermaid project here on this floor, can you tell us a little bit more, and maybe we can walk through some of the stuff here, and so I can show everybody. I'll follow you.
So mermaids, if you're not familiar with psychology, or if you haven't studied psychology at all, basically there's a term related to that. Ooh, Deep, I love
that. Is a cool wearable. Look at that.
who is that? I thought that was you.
Oh,
but It's about the
disappeared.
similar outfit. Oh my gosh, that's so
Oh, that
neat.
was really cool. I got it.
Yeah,
The UFO, it was almost like they had a UFO above their head,
they
beaming them in and
did. They
out.
did have a UFO floating up
That was
above.
really cool. That was a
I
nice
know.
little like,
Someone showed up at one of my streams and I caught it on camera. They have like something that allows their head to get gigantic, like a boggle head, and then it
oh,
shrinks again.
cool.
So they do this motion where their arms go out and the head gets like gigantic, and then the arms come in and the head goes back to normal size. It's pretty neat.
Wow. Yeah, I think as we have
Um,
all four of us here, a lot of people are coming to the complex. Like, whenever it shows like a heat map, like a lot of dots
right.
in the upper left corner. So I think if you look at the bottom, you can see all the little things coming in and out. But that's the best part about Decentraland. You never know what kind of wearables or what kind of like weird, interesting characters are gonna walk by.
And we are officially a point of interest now too. So
Yeah, that
uh,
was awesome. You guys did an
yeah.
amazing job. I mean, that whole process, that's definitely something that was it Deep? That was your baby, right? Right? Your focus project for a bit.
Yeah, so it was something that was hard fought by all of us here, the community, and we all thought it was a great idea. So we've all pursued it via our different avenues and sort of pulled favors and generally campaigned, been on the DCL campaign trail quite hard for a couple of weeks, but we were successful, and it's great to get it because, as you say, when people are in a particular building, if you have a point of interest, it shows up on the heat map a lot easier. So that's great. Just to say very
Sorry.
quickly, over the next 3 days, we're going to run an event here in the museum called Deep Sessions 2. It'll be part 2 of our music event. This time we're doing it in conjunction with Sound Zone. They're a team who are based in and around South America and across Europe. And they're going to be, once we do the video conversion, showing some of their music. And at some point, we will show some of their NFTs as well. So we're going to work with that team to promote their music. And also we have some free POAPs, which will be available in our Discord server. You can supply the link with the
Yeah.
video, Frac.
Yeah,
And
no, for sure.
that'll be first come, first serve. But secondly, just to say, we're working up towards a more global metaverse music festival that will happen globally and in and around DCL. We've put ourselves forward to be one of those locations for the event in October, and that will be effectively a portal between the real world and DCL, the virtual world. So there'll be events happening globally in the real world in terms of actual concerts and virtual events happening across various worlds, including DCL, Voxel, Crypto Voxels,
Oh, wicked.
Sandbox, and Sodium Space. So that's part of a much bigger thing, and we'll keep you updated as things go forward.
Yeah, for sure. Once those events happen, I'm gonna try to attend as many as I can and then just share all that stuff. And when exactly does that start again? You said mid-October or early October? I thought that poster you just said.
Yeah, that's the end of October. I believe it's
Okay,
29th, 30th, and 31st.
great.
But
Oh,
we'll
that's
we'll send you some updates that you can share with the Heaven on Earth production.
Oh, for sure. And one of the things, like the other people I'm interviewing in a couple days, Bit Electro, they're they have a place in Crypto Voxels where they host a lot of their events because of the issues, because they get a lot of people. And whenever you do that within Decentraland, you tend to have those crashes and those kind of things. Have you
Oh,
experienced any of that with any of the events you've been to, or are you anticipating that kind of stuff too?
I think the current setup, because as you know, DCL has various zones, but they're reliant on different server clusters. So there's probably about
Yeah.
I think 12 or so. And I guess as DCL expands and as bigger business comes in, then because everything's run by the DAO, that they'll have to effectively give a bit more power to the DAO around how do you sort of scale, you know, as you move forward. I think there's been a few glitches around some of the browser access, but I guess between the team that's hard at work and the DAO, you know, that's eminently fixable.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the story of the tarot, like how it unfolded. Because originally, I was just doing like paintings, and I didn't know that they were gonna turn into a tarot deck. And I'll show you the first one that I did is where is it? Kind of have to like wander around and find them.
Okay.
Okay, so the Two of Pentacles, this was the first card that I did, and then right next to it, the Ace of Pentacles is the last card that I did. And so anytime you work with tarot, you're kind of like dealing with unconscious imagery and trying to come up with, you know, how to reconcile something that's within yourself. And for me, I think there was kind of like sort of like a split internally, and I was trying to figure out how to get these two things together. And I like these images because they kind of represent all the work that went into creating all the different things and then what changed. So in the Two of Pentacles, you see this like mermaid couple kind of arguing with each other, it seems like. This was actually inspired by a print, an existing print. And on my website, if you click the link and you go and you read about the story, I have kind of like the original image and what inspired me and like the crazy journey I went through to come up with the cards, which overall is like 5 years of just
Wow.
creative inspiration. But this was the first image. And then the Ace of Pentacles, the last image, where you see this more like image of unity, where there's still a sense of like two beings there, but it's more of an image of unity. And then it has this kind of alchemy.
The Two of
The
Pentacles or
Ace
the
of
Three of Pentacles?
Pentacles.
Oh, the Ace. Okay,
Yeah, so the two was the first one and the Ace was the last one in the series, and everything else was in between.
Oh, wow.
So they kind of like this whole journey. But yeah.
So all of this art here, all of this is your creation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
I started by recreating an image that I was inspired with, the Two of Pentacles. And then I decided it kind of looks like the letter M, like that image. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll do an M. And oh no, a W. I was like playing a video game. I just sort of like put random things together where I was like, oh, this looks like an M. Maybe I want to do initials for the game I'm playing, which was Star Wars Uprising. So I made an S, a W, and a U. So those are the next letters that I did. And I drew them on the iPad using, you know, like a drawing app. And then I sampled the colors from all my favorite scenes in that game. You know, like there's certain scenes that I really love. So I like take a screenshot and then sample the colors and then use those colors while I was drawing the characters, the mermaid characters.
Wow.
And then once I had S,
I'm zooming in, like zooming way in, because it's like, you know, one of the reasons I really like love doing these kind of like interviews is like you really get a chance to see the story behind it. Because a lot of times people run through here and they don't like zoom in and out and see the detail of everything. And then of course your story is just incredible. I've seen this before, and this is the first time I've like, wow, they're beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, and then so then I kind of evolved it, and I was like, oh, I want to get like more in depth and use multimedia. So then I started picking out clay, and I'd kind of through drawing letters come up with a very simple format for how to create the mermaids, and then I decided to start actually building them in clay. So some of the pictures are photographs of the clay mermaids that I made, like Judgment here and Justice. And so they're photographs. I made them, photographed them, I put them in Photoshop, and did various versions of things. Some of them I took with like 360 cameras and distorted, and then I just turned it into kind of like a multimedia project because I realized like all the letters were the same. I made them the same way, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna start making different patterns. Like maybe there's a single mermaid, or a mermaid and a child, or two girls, or two guys, or I'm gonna make it out of all these different materials, try and kind of like expand it.
The chariot
Yeah, the
one with the
chariot.
pregnant mommy. That one's so
Uh-huh.
beautiful. You know what? I just got a vision like just seeing these. Have you ever played with like After Effects, the animation?
Uh-huh.
You know, have you done like these would be amazing. Also, just like I could see the movement and then like the hair and the emperor moving and like they already have so much motion in them. Have you ever thought of doing that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've been so busy professionally in my real world doing work that, I was really glad that I had the time to do this project in my free time and continuing to learn new things. You inspired me with the Level Up campaign and Creator Collective to like get an Oculus um, and start playing around with, designing and building in 3D, which I really like. But I don't really have that much time to do any personal creative work because I'm just so busy with projects, which are also really amazing. So I'm not complaining. Everything I'm doing is super cool. So,
Yeah, those
but
projects.
this is kind of on hold.
I'll put some links to some of the stuff. Like that's the cool thing about like I like doing these like pre-recorded ones and I can capture extra stuff of what you're saying. I'll find that and then link it and share with everybody. But yeah, the projects you work on in real life are so cool too. So but these are just, I mean, I guess it's the first time, I've ever really, again, like I said, gotten to see them more in detail and hear more of the story. And it's like, yeah, it all takes so much time too. I feel what you're saying is like I have a lot of ideas and it's like and to really make it like what you visualize, it takes a lot of time and work.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I have some of my favorites, like the Four of Cups is kind of a favorite one. Um, the Two of Cups is kind of a neat one. This one is like a photograph of uh like print on top of a glass thing on top of another print. It's like so multi-layered,
Nice.
like
Do you use
various
plexiglass?
different things.
Do you use
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I love being like I used to teach like plexi monotype printing. I love plexiglass. Like you can do and then of course you can do collage with plexi and I love like that multi-layered effect that you can do with that. Is that like kind of what you did with this or what kind of do you use acrylic or pastel or what do you or just paints?
Um, this is just a whole bunch of materials all piled up on top of each other. So there's like paper, glass, plastic, paint, acrylic, glitter. It's just a whole bunch of things all on piled up on top of each other.
So
It's a
why is
true multimedia.
Four Cups you said was your favorite? What about it is
Um,
particularly that you
I thought this was really funny. I called it the Wow Mermaid. So she kind of has an emoji on her face and she has this kind of like wow expression. She's sort
yeah.
of like looking at her own shadow there against the wall. And she's holding that M symbol with an anchor in the middle. And that M was kind of the original kind of like shape from that old print. What was interesting to me about the old mermaid print was that it was a mermaid couple. And so often we think of
Oh.
mermaids as being just feminine, like the siren. And so I like this idea of there being balance in the masculine and feminine. And I think a lot of the work that we're doing when we work in psychology is like balancing our inner polarities or what we see as opposite within us. And the masculine and the feminine is such a clear like polarity that we're all trying to merge together with concepts like marriage and unity. So I just like it, as a metaphor or a symbol of merging polarities. And so here's this mermaid, a singular mermaid holding this symbol with like this anchor
Oh
around,
wow.
how we hold the tension of opposites, So a lot of the
Mm.
imagery is just around holding the tension of opposites symbolically with the masculine and feminine. But as I started repeating it, I wanted to come up with more subtle images of that and then also present different types of like more complex ways of expressing that wasn't quite so literal. But a lot of people really need literal things. So
Yeah.
a lot of the letters are just literally that masculine and feminine
Now it
in
sucked into
partnership.
this image. There's so much and again, like yeah, it's so powerful. I wish eventually it would be great if like each one of these could, more easily, you could click on it and then just the story you told me, every single piece would have it, so I could sit here and actually listen
Oh
to,
yeah, I know, right? Each one goes on and on. Yeah, each one definitely has a long story behind it. This one is interesting too, just because if you've ever seen a mermaid in real life, they have to be carried everywhere or be in like a crane type apparatus in order to move from one place to the other because they don't have legs. So in this one, the way it's photographed, it is like only half of a figure. The tail's kind of like hidden because of the shot of the photograph. She's inside kind of like apparatus that holds her. So it's like this image of freedom, but it's also an image of restraint and represents lack of mobility, like no legs. So yeah, just interesting. Like,
yeah, it's hard not to like go into tangents when you start talking about all of this. It's I can relate to so many aspects in my own life, and like how each of these, their story is like, I just think it would be great to just, I know you do the tarot readings, but it would be great for you to do like just, I can just see a really cool workshop being held in here of just, everybody, okay, let's all make our Four of Cups interpretation and sharing that. And I don't know, there's so, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
You're a master facilitator. You really
Oh,
are.
thank you.
This
Thank
one is
you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like this, like seriously, we could spend like 5 hours in here just talking about, and each piece is so beautiful. What is this one? Can you tell me about Five of Cups and is that an egg or what is that?
Yeah, it's an egg. It's actually a Himalayan salt egg. So
Oh
the Five
yeah.
of Cups is also known as like the River of Tears. And so I put this, a lot of times mermaids are associated with like jilted lovers, the whole siren thing. And so in this case, it's kind of like a single mermaid inside of what looks like kind of like a diamond or a wedding ring. So it's like this juxtaposition between the idea of the ring representing marriage, but then she's like alone in it. It kind of reminds me of like the woman in the moon too. So it kind of like speaks to loneliness. And then the Five of Cups is about sadness or a river of tears. So she's like resting on an egg of salt, a salt egg. And like salt comes from her tears. So she's just kind of like, she's birthed
It just like, it reminds me of a lot of,
sadness.
yeah, and you think of a lot of, marriages necessarily, people think they won't be alone, but a lot of times they end up more alone in a relationship than not in a relationship. Or like,
exactly. Yeah, like they say it's better to be alone than to be in a relationship with someone that can't see who you are and know who you are. It's more lonely,
yeah, that's what it reminded me of right away when I saw it, and I realized she's in a wedding ring. And so this one, can you tell us about like, so this one is a drawing as well, or what process was this one?
This is a photograph. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I made like a mixed media sculpture piece. Collected this is just like found object photography, basically. I think it's resting on top of something that I made, like a clay thing.
Okay.
So some of them, like in the Six of Pentacles, you see that she's holding this like bowl shape, and there's like objects in the bowl. So as part of this process, I made a lot of like bowls that I filled with sand to make like mini found object sculptures. So a lot of the pieces were different photographs with different combinations of the objects in the bowls, as creating like these little realities.
Wow. So
yeah, there's tons.
This is wonderful. I love, like, I'm so glad we have this moment to talk about it, because it's like, we're all so busy, but it's like, I think it's important. It's like that slowing down of hearing the depth of something where it really starts to make an impact, right? Like,
yeah,
because a lot of in Decentraland, there's all these things happening and everyone's running around, going here, getting POAPs, running around, but like rarely do you stop and like, it's almost like a meditation of story,
Yeah, that's why it's so much fun to go into all the little details and get to know all the different parts. And this definitely has a lot. Like this is a picture of the mermaids that I made. Actually, my friend who passed away a year ago today is the one that suggested that I do this. So I made these shapes, the mermaids in shapes of letters, and then on the back wall here, you see those mermaids being arranged in lowercase letters, which I photographed. So we have E and F and G
So cool.
So yeah, I did
Wow.
like that one, which was the Seven of Cups, was like one that I just really liked as I was learning about that process. And then the whole sword suit is lowercase versions of using those like more androgynous. So I took away the faces, so they're not masculine or feminine. So these would be the they mermaids.
Yeah, and
And
I
they're
could
just
totally
kind of
see
like,
these in like your 3D. You're also painting with like gravity skeleton, tilt brush. These would be really
mm-hmm.
cool in that world as a, you know, as a thing that you could go in and walk around and interact with. So this,
Yeah,
what
and
you
it,
were saying, these were sculptures,
yeah, so
right?
those are like little mermaid sculptures, and they kind of have like one fin wrapped around the front and one fin wrapped around the back. So when you look at them, you kind of have to imagine, because there isn't any identifying features for front or back or masculine or feminine. So as you look at them, they're like really neutral dolls, and you're like, you have to use your imagination. In what way do you think it's facing? Is it, you know, where do you see the face? What face do you see, if you see a face at all? Because it's just a circle. There's no front or back. They're very like just neutral forms.
Wow.
So you bring your own psychology or your own imagination to the imagery.
Yeah, it's like the, what is the ink block test? The right
Yeah, like a
share? Yeah, yeah.
Rorschach. Yeah.
Right. I always forget how to actually say it. But that's, you know, for me, I
Oh,
love
that's
looking at
good.
clouds for that very reason, or nature in general. And this is great how you're bringing that to it. It's like, I think a lot of art is dependent on your mindset and, you know, our willingness to like acknowledge your current mindset of like, what is this really meaning to me right now? You know, of
This is
your
like
initial,
the yeah, this is like the Lego letter version of the mermaid type. You know, you have
oh, really?
like a certain number of pieces, and you can build any letter that you want out of it, any form or shape out of the pieces that you have.
Man, I got another cool idea. I'm like, it would be so cool if these would like eventually when Decentraland and the technology shifts a bit and they had all these like pieces on the ground that you could rearrange and take a snapshot and take it with you, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
imagine
totally, like in the
if
sand.
yeah, like
Because you
if the
can draw
floor,
with them too. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
really? See, I
Right?
love
Yeah, because they can mark making as well, potentially, if you have like a whole sand tray type scenario, beach
yeah, in
scene or
like VR
water
chat,
area.
I've been like exploring some worlds in there and like some of the ones I saw people actually like they have those creation tools within VR, so people are making art
Mm-hmm.
within the space.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think like that's where I always look at things like, oh, what if this was, you know? So what is the
They had it
material
at the
that you
Rainbow
use?
Road. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what
Yeah.
about the, I'm sorry, it keeps cutting out. I'm
Here in
sorry if I'm talking over you.
No, here in DCL, they had the Rainbow Road, and part of that, it's like you had a paintbrush and you could paint on the Rainbow Road in various colors.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I need to go
yeah,
check that
you
one
missed
out. I
that?
haven't seen that one.
Hmm. Yeah.
So this you were saying, so what clay medium do you use for the creatures, for the mermaids?
These are just like um, little polymer clay creatures. Over here, let's see, number or letter, the one that's the Eight of Pentacles. This one is a 360 photograph of my original illustration for the type of show that I
Oh,
wanted to have for the mermaids.
wow.
Um, and it's like I wanted to do a VR version and an in real life version that was kind of like mixing together digital media education with with the art with the artwork, so as an exhibit, and you know, have a bunch of different programming around it and things like that. So you see me in the bottom half, and then what
Yeah,
I
I
did is
love
I took my
that.
drawing and I like pushed it inside of one of these large spherical or hemispheres that I made. I've been like photographing things with the 360 camera and playing with the VR distortion and stuff, and just seeing like what kind of images come out of that as you combine all these different media together.
Yeah, I love, wow.
It's
Yeah,
like
for
hard to know
me,
what
like,
you're looking at.
yeah, no, it is. And it's again, like if I walk by this, it's like the story is like, it looks really visually like, captivating, but then like the story of the educational component and the mixing of the art forms and your vision of what you'd want to create, that's right up my alley. All of that is just what for many years I played in that realm, and it's like I love the little VR guy. And what's this guy here with a box on his head? What is that?
Oh yeah, so I thought like as an interim to VR to help people understand what's happening, why not put a box on your head that's just all mirrors, like an infinite mirror? And I have
Oh,
a
let's
couple
go.
versions of that. Like over here, I played around with that
Okay.
on this one. I did a series of like videos and photographs inside of a mirror box. And this one, the Ace of Cups is the one that I ended up putting in. So you kind of see a bit of the mirror box effect with this guy. This one was really funny because when I posted it online, someone commented they thought it was a dildo. I
Wait,
was
which
like,
one?
oh my gosh.
This right here?
This one.
Wait, Ace
Yeah,
of
the Ace
Cups?
of Cups.
I don't,
Hmm.
I guess I don't see it. But like you
I
said,
know.
everybody interprets whatever they want, right? Like we were talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, exactly. I was like, how does this U-shaped little like mermaid thing resting in pink sand inside of weird like bull egg shaped thing make you think of that? It's very
Well, it tells
interesting.
you a lot about that person, like
It's very
they're,
archetypal. Yeah, yeah. Like, what does it bring up? I thought it was kind of womb-like or baby-like,
yeah.
personally.
That that's what I see. I see
Um,
like a fractal womb, because like the one above and the one below, they're kind of replicated. It's kind of like you're looking at the growth of what was to what is. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I see, because
yeah,
there's three of them, right?
yeah.
The one at the way bottom is another iteration of the same, or no?
Well, this is just the mirror box. There's really only one object in there, but because the
Oh, and
box is
then
it's a
oh, okay.
box of mirrors, what you get is like an infinite, it looks like you're in infinite space, but really you're just inside of a tiny box with mirrors in it.
Yeah, because you had said that. I totally spaced out about that. That's how we ended up over here. You were talking about the guy with the
Yeah.
box on the head. But like, I love that. I love anything fractal, that like makes you look at the micro and the macro.
Hmm.
So what you said, the outside, is that like a sculpted eggshell as well, or how was that
Yeah,
part
I made
created?
these out of paper. They're just like, you can do the thing where you like take a balloon and then you do
Yeah.
paper mache. So I cut up
I
all
was gonna
my old
ask you.
journals and like paper mache, made all these paper mache balls. And then I
That's so
painted
cool.
them and I put the sand in them, made little like sand trays. Sand trays is like a therapy. It's like a nonverbal form of communication. So yeah,
But
and of
what
course,
is? I missed that
sand
part.
trays. Sand trays, it's like a form of nonverbal communication that's used in therapy, sand tray therapy.
Oh, I haven't. What is
And
that about? I've never heard of that.
um well, a lot of times like, your ego or your consciousness will kind of like limit um what it is that you know about what happens to you, especially if it's traumatizing. Like people won't remember what happened,
Mm.
or they just kind of like create these mental blocks. And so sand tray is kind of like one of these therapies. Either you can use it with children too, because sometimes people literally don't have the words to explain what's
Mm.
happened to them. So
Mm-hmm.
they can use nonverbal forms of communication by like picking up objects and moving them around and like recreating. And the only
Oh.
way they know how to communicate what's happened to them because they lack the language to do it.
So like a
So
sand tray will have like multiple objects that they can move in whatever way they see fit to tell their story.
yeah, usually it's like there's a big sand tray and then there's a whole wall of objects. And so you go and you
Oh,
pick what you want from the object,
cool.
and then how you arrange it
That
in the
makes
sand
sense.
tray is like creates a narrative. And so the
Yeah.
therapist will watch like, your behavior as you select objects, how you respond to different objects, where you arrange them, how you move them around. And all of that is like a form of communication.
That's because I've seen like something like that. Like my son and I have been to like a therapy just, for those kind of things. I remember he had that there and he had objects, but we never got to do that. But like, yeah,
Ah,
I that's so powerful. Like, because I always wondered what that was. And now like that makes perfect sense. And I think Yeah, I think we got to make a giant sandbox to do that for the community, like to get the temperature of what is the center fan
Yeah.
feeling now. We go to the sandbox and everyone's been, creating something with moving these giant objects,
Yeah, yeah, totally. And allow people to bring their own objects to it as
Oh,
well, like what do
yes.
they want to contribute and bring.
Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome. So is there what is your plan for this floor? I know that all of us, like, I helped with a different floor and I still have ideas of what I want to do next. I mean, I know it all takes a lot of time. Is there
Yeah.
another thing that you're going to do in here?
So I've been talking to Bacon Grease and also to Archimage, and both of them do nighttime photography. So I
Oh,
think it's going to
nice.
be kind of like celestial. There's like constellations, pictures of the sun, the moon, and Archimage has turned some of his photography into cards that rotate. So I think we'll kind of have a similar feeling with like some 3D objects or rotating cards with that imagery, and then the night photography on the wall. And then there's astrology. So I was thinking like maybe offer to do something that like people can submit a request to get their birth chart created. I have like an app that will do people's birth charts. So if they
Oh,
and
wow.
actually there's a bot in one of the Discord channels that I'm into where if you put in your birthday, it'll send you your birth chart. So maybe
Really?
I can talk to Hydra about like installing that bot on our Discord for their show, so people want to go and like with their birth chart. Those are cool ones too.
Yeah, that would be really. Oh, man, you could like, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
like some kind of async one where somehow it would take your input of your birth chart and the NFT would shift accordingly, to whatever person that you interact with your NFT. Like how
Oh,
async art,
neat.
programmable art would be wicked. That would
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah.
Like relation NFT one, like once you like what it is, and they could like a NFT off that iteration or something,
Hmm.
have a
That'd
master
be really
oracle,
cool.
like an oracle
Yeah.
NFT, and then the whatever day the oracle, if you want to keep that particular one, because it's all dependent on your birthday, it would like spit out your new personalized chart NFT. Like, I just think that would be, and then you do a whole collection around that. That would be really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And then so in addition to doing this especially the night photography, I have a whole collection of like star related tarot cards. So I can also just do like
Ooh,
readings with that as a theme, as a specific theme.
that would be that
So
would be wonderful
yeah.
too. Yeah, and I think like it's cool because every time the art shifts in here, the space will have a totally different feel, and you can arrange everything completely different. Like in my, like basically you're working with, is it art? Who's the one in charge of these spaces now? Is it Archimate
I don't know.
or
Yeah, I figure that out. But I know getting 78 in here was a lot. I like how you guys have arranged it on the other floors. And then one of the things that's kind of tricky about this one is we have a whole wall of windows. So I don't
yeah,
know if there's like
a way to get rid of all those windows, because then you could put a lot of art there.
yeah, or we could do something like what we did now where there's the images just floating in the middle of the room back to back. If they're the same size, you can do that, and they just kind of
That's
like
true.
yeah, so that's cool.
Thank you for taking the time to show me around. I love the community, and if you want to be part of it, just come. I'll put a link in the Discord, and is the Discord the best way for like
Yeah,
a new person wanting to come and help and learn more?
this is the best way. Because I'm always looking at Discord more than any other social media.
Cool. Well, thank you, and yeah, we'll definitely keep everybody updated on everything that happens here.
All right, thank you.
I was mute. Can everyone hear me? There is a bit of a lag, I'm so sorry. Lag and Decentraland are kind of one and the same. So, now is the time. I'm so grateful for everybody. I really am. Guys, there's nothing wrong with my camera. I wanted this weird effect. It's kind of cool. It is weird. I like weird. Everyone keeps asking me. Woo! Okay, so now it's time. I have a special link and a special giveaway for all you amazing people who watched and learned it, and from Mitra, from Deepbot, from Hydra. Okay, so in order to actually be one of the top 50, you have to have followed the channel. Hopefully all of you guys have done that. Number 2, you have to have the special magic word, which is Stellargate. So you have to put that in the form. So you have to be here to put that. And you don't have to put in the chat, just put in the form about to put the link. So, and yeah, include your email, and I'll email everybody probably in the next day or two the POAP. So there's 50 total, and I wish I'd had more, but hold on one second. Let me get the link for you guys. And again, I really hope you enjoyed this interview. I really did. I love looking at Mitra's art and everything. And I still have some updates. I know once I put this up, everyone's going to go and do it. But I think listen up, because I have some really cool updates. I'm going to talk a little bit about another amazing metaverse and a cool project with Mona Gallery. They're doing a metaverse build right now, which actually I'm participating in, and I talked about last time. So here's the link. Hold on a second. And yeah, there it is. So go and fill it out, the first 50 who answer everything. And again, special word of the day is Stellargate. And again, that is the name of the Discord where Decentrafun Complex is. So the forum is there. It should be there. If you click on it, let me all know. And I just want to make sure that you see that, and then I'm going to show you guys, go into another screen and kind of talk a little bit about the amazing Mona Gallery event that's happening right now, Metaverse Build. Can everybody click on it? Hopefully. I will hear from everybody, I'm sure. So while everyone's doing that, I will head over and I want to showcase this. I'm going to head back to the supporter for a minute. Everybody sign up, and again, the magic word of the day is Stellargate, which is the name of the Discord. And let me open up. I wanted to talk about. Hold on a second. Let me put some music to follow us a little bit while I find this. Hopefully, you guys can hear the music. The secret word is Stellargate. That is the name of the Discord for this amazing group that brings you Decentrafun Complex. And let me try to find. So yeah, stay tuned. Yes, while I open up all the stuff. Open up. Screen share. Let me find the amazing Mona Gallery link. Now I have to. It's always trying to get all the tech that you want to work when you want it to work, because it usually never works when you need it to work, and I'm sure all of you guys have experienced that. There it is. The secret word is Stellargate. Oh, donate! That would be awesome. Eventually, once I get enough followers and have enough stream time, I can actually have a subscription on here, so you guys can support this. And I just showcase awesome builds. And if you guys have any ideas, please send them my way. Okay, let me turn the music down so I can talk about what's happening here. Okay, I'll still have a little bit of music. It's always nice to have a little music. Okay, so let me see if this is showing up right. Yes. Hopefully you guys can all see it. Oh, is it showing? There it is. It is a little bit laggy. Stellargate. And here, let me post the link one more time for those of you who are late. There will be a limited edition POAP. And here's the link again. And thank you guys for filling out the form. And Bruce, member, part of it is you have to follow me here. And hopefully you enjoyed what I'm showcasing. So let's talk a little bit about the amazing Mona Gallery, Mona build. This is something I found out about first via the amazing Meta guys. who actually interviewed them when they were before they actually opened up this this campaign. And so what's happening here is amazing. And if any of you guys ever wanted to learn how to build metaverse and be supported by the amazing community and the amazing people behind this, I super highly recommend to join this build. You can still register. The deadline, I believe, is October either 27th, 28th. Is that right? Matt, you can tell me if it's the 28th or 27th. I should know this because I have to fit my work. But yeah, so let me just share a little bit more about it. So I joined a couple of weeks ago, and I'm a total newbie, and I just want to do it because I love learning. And this has been such a great experience that everybody that I meet, I'm telling about. So you're able to basically create your own metaverse, and for this they're actually doing a build bounty. So if you're an artist, you can work with other people if you want. You can work with a builder if you want. I'm kind of doing it all by myself just because I really want to learn the whole process. And yeah, so you can go over to build a space, and here you can actually it talks a little bit out, it gives you all the information. And even if it seems a little overwhelming, you can head over to their Discord, and in their Discord they have, again, incredible tutorials and really walk you through, and every part of there is super helpful if you're interested in getting started. And last week I did share like my little first attempt to do the build. Oh, the secret POAP word is Stellar Gate if you are here a little bit late. But yeah, you are still able to register, and you click on the register button and you come and fill out their register to build. And even if it's, again, it's a short time if you're joining in a little bit late, but still, I would definitely join in and just, oh, it's a little bit out of focus now. I don't know why. I think I've crashed. My computer is not happy with me right now. Okay, there it is. So again, here's all the info that you need. It's pretty straightforward, but their community, let me open up my Discord. You guys can see a little bit of, has a lot of amazing channels, and all artists and amazing creators are sharing like their works in progress, and they have like week calls. They did a Twitter Spaces the other day. Did a call. I think it was today, but unfortunately I missed it, which was a bummer. But here is their the Discord that I've been a part of, and there's just lots of great stuff on here. And yeah, also feel free to reach out to me personally if you have any questions about this, and I'll direct you to that. And yeah, I actually hopefully eventually, once this their actual build bounty is over, maybe in the next month or so, I hope to interview them and feature them and some builders on this show. I think it would be a lot of fun. They're just such kind, wonderful people. So yeah. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is another thing. This weekend is the Metaverse Music Festival. So let me open up Decentraland events. My computer's being very unfortunately laggy, but let me see if it'll do it for me. And thanks again, everybody. I'm trying to do like 5 things at once, and it's not really working well for me. I have 2 computers in front of me. I have like monitors here, like 3 monitors. I end up typing in the wrong keyboard, which is always fun. The world events, I actually will be covering one of these events. So I will be doing the Dead Mouse, I believe, or let me see which is the one. It's so laggy. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's not being my friend right now. I will do like a little special announcement on my Twitter, which is Fractilians7. Oh, thank you to Center for posting the link to, I believe that's Mitra's art. So I think it's on, hold on, I think I posted it on here. It's Sunday, I think at 10 p.m. Yeah, Dead Mouse, Sunday at 10 p.m. at Evolution Stage. I will be covering that. But there's so many other amazing events happening. There's also another amazing group who I connected with a little while ago, and it's called Artist Sect NFT Gallery. Let me see if I can bring it up to show you guys. They're a gallery. They're super nice gallery, and I hope to also be interviewing them here soon. And let me see if I can get it up. I think it's under just chatting. Maybe that'll make my computer a little bit better. It is a little bit super slow and laggy, but oh, let's see if it's gonna do it. No, it's not being. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yay! There's their little flyer, and they were actually doing a call for artists as well. And I there's so much stuff that they're doing that I really wanted to showcase and feature them as well. So they're actually having an opening of their Decentraland and CryptoVoxels gallery coming up, which is really cool for the music festival event. And I think they just got me some info like a few minutes ago. Let me see if I can find it to share with you guys, because I think it's they're super nice community. So okay, let me see. Yes, it's 29th, 30th, and 31st is there, and here is their CryptoVoxels parcel. Let me see. It's parcel 1436, and I believe the Decentraland one is not deployed yet. But again, I'll share that with everybody on. I will share that on their. Hold on a second. Let me turn this off. I will share that on my Twitter because I was trying to do that. So stoked. But yeah, definitely check out the Mona Gallery. Super cool. This weekend is going to be a lot of fun. So on Sunday, I'll be doing like a special little bonus report, which should be fun. And I highly encourage everybody to go check out all of the amazing events happening in the metaverse. Also, Decentrafun Complex the following week is going to have Through Deep Thought, an amazing music event as well. So I'll definitely be posting about that if you guys about that. And if you guys hear of any Twitter handle, hold on. Let me see. Look, I'm writing in the wrong place. Sorry. At Fractilians. I believe it's Fractilians 7, I think. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I should know that. Let me see. Let me check it out right here. Something I should know, but I don't know. I think it's because a lot of times I had a different. I owned the other Fractilians, but I ended up posting on this one. Let me see. Let me check real quick for you guys. Oh no. Oh yeah, it is Fractilians 7. So here it is. Let me just share it real quick. But thank you, everybody, and I hope everybody who was here gets a POAP. If not, we hope. I think with the POAPs, the shifts, they're trying to cut down some of the some things that were happening on there, and yeah. But follow me on Twitter as well, and you can, and also follow all the Decentraland reporters. Everybody does such amazing reports, and I try to follow in as many as I can because it's great because we're all so different and we share so many different perspectives, and we have the amazing leader of Kevin on Earth helping us along the way. But yeah, I just wanted to again thank everybody, and next week we have an amazing meta builder, Black Fractal, who I interviewed. So you guys will all enjoy that. He's really cool. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really stoked people showed up here. And yeah, let me get some music started again for you guys. Let me see where it went. It's always fun to wait. Now it's my kid calling me. My duties have started. Let me get my music started. Okay, pro. And share that. Get it started. But thank you guys. Catch you next time. Stream and not stream starting.